Ever since I can remember, as a kid in the kitchen back in the 80s, I remember seeing this French salt with a whale on it, La Baleine. It was the first time I ever saw this in my life in French kitchens and in retail stores. And I thought, what is this stuff? And we were all using Morton's. Fast forward to today when salt's just blown up, sea salt from all over the world. Well, let's go back to really where it started. We're in the Camargue region of France, just north of Montpellier. This place has been the place, ground zero for salt cultivation since the Roman times. The town we're in is Aigues-Mortes. There's a 3-week window in the summer, end of July, beginning of August, when the temperatures are perfect and the air is dry and that water's the right temperature and the right salinity and it doesn't rain, there's not a cloud in the sky, and that's when they do this natural salt in its finest form. We're going to film how it's done and a few other things, but it's going to be salt mainly. I'm Mike Colameco, chef and food lover. Come with me and meet some of today's most interesting chefs and their crews that work in their kitchens. Real chefs, real restaurants, and real recipes. That's what's on the menu. This is Mike Colameco's Real Food. We're down here at the Salt Museum in Aigues-Mortes, where they actually have 100,000 visitors. I mean, that's not exactly the Louvre, the Eiffel Tower, or Disney Paris, but 100,000 people a year come to a salt museum. You gotta love the French. They come in this little cute little choo-choo train, and I guess when there's nothing to do in the summer in August, come to Aigues-Mortes to the Salt Museum. I did. Today's story is salt. It's about as basic as it gets. Humans need salt. Our bodies need salt. We've needed it throughout our history to preserve foods. And one of my favorite salts sits on my dining room table at home is the Fleur de Sel from the Camargue. It's very specific, it's very delicious, and I've always wanted to figure out how it was made. Well, the story goes back a couple thousand years. That's the Mediterranean. This is a cutout, a natural place where water flows in. It's going to travel 60 miles inland, zigging and zagging and zigging and zagging until finally in these little shallow pools, literally about this deep, during the magic of summer nights, when the sun's hot, there's no rain whatsoever, Fleur de Sel is formed naturally. It's about as pure and basic as it gets. This water has to be moved, lifted up a little bit, so we're using this mill to lift this water into this basin. It's going to go down that canal. I tasted this water and I tasted that scum. It is so salty, it's unbelievable. It tastes like salt and magnesium and potassium. It's like blew me away. It's going to go down that canal, and its final resting place is going to be this big lagoon behind me, where the magic's going to occur at night, that difference of diurnal temperature. Cool nights, warm days. Those cool nights and this little bit of breeze during the day, the salt crystals form at night because of the temperature difference, and that breeze just naturally pushes them towards the shore. So depending on which way the wind was blowing, that's when the guys know where to come in with their shovels the next day, because that's obvious. That's where the salt is. But it's an amazing system, pure and natural and simple, and I can't believe we're here to see this. But see salt being born. This is the final stage. The reason we're here is this is pretty much the purest salt on the planet. They file it up. Nothing else happens to this salt. It comes from the sea. All this salt sees after this is it dries in the sun, and then it's put in these beautiful little containers with the cork tops. The labels are signed, and that's it. That's what I call zero processing. This is a completely natural product. Beautiful. It's a shame it doesn't stay pink, but I'll tell you what, it's still delicious. I'm here with Luke. Luke's one of the pros. He signs every single Fleur de Sel he signs. So this is called charging. We're charging now.
It's too small.
I'm getting fired already. Ça va, mon chef?
You speak English, you speak French, I speak English.
This beautiful pink salt, that's the Fleur de Sel. It's pink because it actually has beta-carotene in it. That'll disappear as it dries out. Didn't they used to have an expression, you're gonna go working in the salt mines if you don't do... Didn't they threaten people with this? All right, I probably earned this a few times over, honestly. This is good back-breaking work. If you've ever shoveled really wet snow, we've all done that before. Just figure that about times 10. This could be a tough 8-hour shift. I'm here with Luke Vell.
Hello.
Luke is almost a child of the salt, no?
I'm a sea salt maker of Camargue.
How many?
Flour sea salt,
That's what we're looking at.
yes.
How many years have you been doing this?
32 years.
Most of your adult life.
I work only here.
Period. This is the job you've had. This is what you love to
Yes.
do. And your uncle did this. Your
My
granduncle.
uncle, granduncle, brother, sister of my mother, a lot of person in my family.
We came here at a very specific time because this harvest is peculiar. Talk a bit about when this happens.
The weather is very important because no rain, no wind,
Wind.
little wind, no big hot sun.
It's completely
Packaging.
pure, completely natural.
Yes.
The only time it's really being touched is for the shovel it to here. It dries and then that's it, into the
Box.
container. Pure, natural,
Yes.
as nature intended it.
Yes, yes.
That's a beautiful product.
Yes.
You know, I've used your salt for years. Now I get to see your face. Thank you.
Oh, thank you very much.
Thank you much.
It's very difficult in English.
No, you're good. You're good. The chef de Sauniers. 3 or 4 years ago, we were here and we flew over in helicopter. Well, I didn't. I hate heights. Joe did. And I remember seeing the footage of this whole marshes. They were all pink, and I'm thinking, you know, what do I know? Mineral content, something like that. Like that has to explain it. No, I'm wrong. I asked. Apparently, there's a little tiny crustacean that loves this kind of salinity. It would kill any other kind of fish except this one little pink shrimp thing. That's why this water's pink. Salt's white, water's pink, but it's because there's something living in there. Who knew? We're in Jas de Gougeot or something like that. This is somebody's bull farm in the middle of the Camargue. There's about 400 bulls in there and none of them are bred to eat. They are all bred for bullfighting. But I'm gonna tell you one thing, these bulls are nasty. They're bred to be nasty. It's a really hot day and the owner of this joint told me they're especially nasty when it's really hot. So Joe, how you feeling? Yeah, living dangerously. All right, let's go see some bulls in the Camargue. They're all over us. Do not get out of the car. We're gonna get close to some, boys. Stay in the van. What do we come here for? Salt. We got the Fleur de Sel in our hands. And what else? What else did we see while we were here? My cameraman were being chased by bulls. So I've got bull steak, salt, which the bull steak needs, and a little foie gras, because we made our own dish. It's called bull steak rossini. All right, allow me. So here's what you do with Fleur de Sel. Here's how it works. We also have French fries. French fries need salt. Yeah, that's on my table at home. Gotta go for the bull. We had these things chasing us. We were terrified the other day. So here, bull, sorry. Never had bull before. It's not bad. It's not bad. Salt's better than the bull. Sorry. For this next segment, we're technically leaving the Languedoc-Roussillon and crossing the Rhone River to the southern tip of the southern Côte de Rhône to the vineyards of Châteauneuf-du-Pape. Historic and rightfully so. So we're here at Chateau Montredon. This is the highest elevation in Châteauneuf-du-Pape. This is the top of the hill, it's the peak. And amazingly, as high as we are, this bed, which is so characteristic of Châteauneuf-du-Pape, this is all river stones. This used to be the Rhone River. It used to run, this was the base of the Rhone. It's hard to imagine. If I dug, these go down 2 meters. 2 meters of solid stone. Underneath this, you've got a bed of clay. It's remarkable soil, very specific. The magic of this, these grapes on purpose are designed to trellis super, super low because during the day, these stones get hot. Hot, hot, hot. And then at night when these temperatures can drop 20, 25, 30 degrees, these stones are still warm. They're helping the grapes ripen at this elevation. They're like mini ovens. I can feel this. This is hot right now. Baking in the sun. Probably until midnight these are warm, maybe even after that. So that's one of the keys with Châteauneuf-du-Pape. You're always going to see these trellises cut really low. These stones, the clay beneath it, the mix of the grapes, terroir, that's the magic of it. Incredible wines. I'm here with Jérôme.
Nice to meet you.
You're the heir apparent. There's
Yep.
several sons involved in this business. I know you spent some time in New York.
Yes, a little bit.
This is an amazing facility. I mean, Châteauneuf-du-Pape, first of all your grapes are hand harvested.
Exactly, 100%.
This is a brand new room. Talk about this
Exactly.
equipment from Di Franceschi, Italian
Exactly,
equipment.
Italian. We are mostly based on Italian machine for the winery. In 2010, we invested a lot to refresh completely the reception of the harvest, and we bought a new machine called the Visionic sorting system.
Visionic sorting system.
So it includes to make big investments to make sure we will preserve the integrity of the berries.
All right.
It will be available soon.
Well, we're going to walk through the process, and at
Exactly.
some point we're going to have a tasting,
Of course,
and then at some point we're going to have lunch,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm thinking we're going to drink Chateauneuf de Pape.
Chateauneuf de Pape, maybe, for sure, for sure.
These are chanterelles. They're beautiful, fresh chanterelle.
It's been a long time now. La 43, t'as envoyé la totale 27 ou pas?
Early in the morning, we're just outside of Arles at a restaurant called Le Chassonnier, one Star Michelin restaurant that I really wanted to get to. It's one of the best restaurants in the area. The chef's kind of like a rising star in France. Turns out I've met him before. And the kitchens of Daniel years ago when we filmed, and the kitchen of Ducasse when we filmed there when he was in New York City. Obviously two of the great restaurants. And he's out here in the country, so he has this beautiful kitchens that he can work with. Space, a garden in the back, or I should say gardens. I mean, that's sort of the advantage of being in the French countryside is space is cheap. You can build out a big kitchen. Unlike in the city, you can have gardens all around. So we're going to cook with Fleur de Sel. We're going to cook with the salt of the region. We're going to do a couple of demos with that salt, stay for lunch service, see what it takes to get his second star, because that's where I think he's on his way to. So chef, tell me what you're doing.
We're making like aromatic salt, and we're gonna use this salt to cook a piece of fish directly on the salt.
And this is this beautiful coarse salt from the Camargue.
Exactly.
This fennel's from your garden.
That's almost what you have here in a.
Pre-mixed again, which is a product that they sell, which is a seasoned salt.
And we're gonna put directly.
So that salt forms a nice little crust, a barrier. We need no oil,
No oil.
nothing. And as that salt gets hot, it's going to begin to get the perfume from the herb. All right, we're adding water to create a little bit of salt crystal.
Exactly.
The perfume's huge. Smells like everything that's in there. Rosemary, fresh fennel, bay leaf. So this doesn't go in the oven at all. It's cooking here a little bit by steam,
Yeah. It's because it's the water from the fish. It's
coming out.
The texture is gonna be kind of interesting because the salt is gonna dry out
Draws moisture out of the meat.
Yes.
Makes the meat a little more firm.
a little more. firm.
Yeah. That's a tasty piece of fish there. That's the cheek. C'est bon. Thank you, chef.
You have the perfumes, you have the salt, but it's not too salty.
It's perfect. When fish is cooked perfectly, it's almost like custard. It's almost like gelatin, you know, just set. Beautiful yellow tomatoes in season now. It's a little tomato confit.
Yeah.
All right, before service, a little meal.
Yeah. You see what I mean when you cook like a salted cod, like a bacalao,
Yeah, yeah.
and it's unsalted, you know?
It has that flavor, and it has a little bit of the firmness of the texture too. Simple and perfect. Talk about how you use the Fleur de Sel differently than other salts.
Look, I put it in the table first.
In here.
And all the seasoning we're doing in the kitchen is with Fleur de Sel. And the way I use it is almost everything I cook, I salted at least 10 minutes before cook it.
So
And I realized with these techniques, I cannot do it with fine salt. With the sea salt, you just like seasoning your plates without feeling the salt.
when did you get your first Michelin star?
On 2009.
Must have been great. It's a big moment. I mean,
Yeah,
every
yeah.
chef dreams of.
No, it was, the big moment is the problem is you arrive in the same time than my daughter, so
One of the advantages these chefs have that move out of the cities into the countryside is they get space. Space means gardens if you can do it. We're down in the Camargue, it's the south of France, really long gardening season. Starts early, runs late. This guy's got about 6 acres he's farming on, all organic, all bio, all certified. And as the seasons change, amazing stuff. We're here beginning of August, so it's a little bit of a transition. Obviously the lettuces are gone early, the fruit's not quite ready yet, but the herbs are great, the chicory's gone, but it's still amazing what he gets to play with. I mean, how many chefs get to grow their own eggplant? I mean, this is going to be another couple of weeks. It's going to be, you know, this big, and he goes in the garden and it's still warm, and he gets to play with the best stuff. In between are rows of fruit trees. Those are pears, and he's growing all sorts of stuff that is kind of unusual for the French kitchen in a way. This is shiso. This is the Japanese leaf that everybody knows in New York from sushi, sashimi. It's that incredibly pungent leaf that you'll find as a garnish on your plate or sometimes as actually part of the sushi. It's got that, just an explosion of flavor.
We also pick the wild berries. So we always have a mix between the things we grow and the wild things.
You've got gorgeous tomatoes, so you're growing them up on trellises.
Yeah.
How many varieties?
I don't know.
A lot.
Yeah, like 50 around. Yes.
Look at this flesh.
It's so warm and you can even peel
You can make
without blanching.
without blanching in hot water for a second.
You know what I make with this? I put straight on the plate and then I seasoning with different stuff. I just warm it up and bing. That's the tougher thing when you have a garden, is to keep cooking.
Because you could eat this raw, right? I mean, a little olive oil, a little bit of fresh basil.
What do you want to put to this?
Nothing, nothing. So these are the blackberries or salad. This is a fish. It's been marinated or it's raw?
It's marinated with the juice of the blackberries.
Arugula?
Arugula. Tiny bit of lime.
Really? Really? French eating corn? Really? This must have been from your days in America. Busy lunch. I mean, we're here in August, and they've got about 50 customers on the books, a couple of walk-ins. We're out in the country. There is not a breeze to be seen. We'll shoot at the trees. They ain't moving. It's been like this way for 2 days. It's August. It's hot. It's probably 90 degrees. Everyone's eating outside. And I'm like, why aren't they inside? Well, because it's beautiful. You're under these trellises. Well, to add to that, they've got this great system. We've seen this in the States, of blowing a fine mist of water in the air. They've got fans setting around at quadrants, and actually, it's pretty darn pleasant. All right, you guys came late, so I've been in the middle of my next course here. This we saw in the kitchen, and it's so funny to see a French chef cook corn. You know, when I used to work with French chefs, we talked about corn, and they would just, corn? We feed that to birds, we feed that to pigeons, we feed that to pigs. And I'm like, no, American corn's amazing. And here I am, you know, with a French chef who's serving corn in France, and it's French corn. So it's a cool summer dish. It's this local squid, comes in off the boats every single day, summer squid. So it's, actually this looks like winter squid in America. Nice thick wall, just grilled, medium rare, perfect. And I'm dying to try this corn. French corn that hasn't been fed to animals. It's great. Sweet, firm. To find out what variety it is. This is escarole. I saw them pick this escarole out of the garden in the morning, so it's just raw escarole. They cut the head of escarole, took the outer leaves for something else, and the small inner leaves you can just eat raw like this. I love them as a salad. Great plate of food. It's a Saturday. We're in the town of Le Gras d'Oie, which is complicated to say, complicated to figure out. It's a fishing town right on the Mediterranean, a tiny little town down here in the Camargue. Great little fish market here on Saturdays. I've heard we're going to visit it, but these are the fishing boats that I love so much about Europe. I mean, this is a one-man boat. The guy goes out. That's a purse seine net that he's got with that buoy on top. He goes out at night, knows where he's going, has a little light on the boat, casts that net down. He's got a buoy on the top. When he thinks he has fish, he cinches it, pulls it up over the boat. He's got a little cooler there full of ice. A one-man fishing boat. So much of the commercial fishing in these little fishing villages is just like this guy. Sustainable, local. How far is he going out in that thing? We have all this great shellfish, this great market. Everyone's coming on a Saturday. We've got mussels, we've got clams, moules, poulards. We've got these little guys that come out of here. Yeah, you eat these with a little stick on your finger. They're great. Another type of clam, shrimp, and these gorgeous crabs. So here we are. This is the second standalone where we've seen tuna. Judging by the size of these boats, in Cape May to go out for tuna, you're going out 30, 40, 50 miles to the canyons. I guess they catch tuna right off the water here because I haven't seen any big boats. All center cuts, super fresh fish, caught last night. And this is the cut the French love. They call this ventresca. It's the tuna belly. We know this from eating sushi. It's the fattiest part of the tuna. Sometimes you can buy this canned, in cans from France, and in Italy, it's amazing. One of the stars of the Sud de France scene is Gerard Bertrand. Great vineyards located near Narbonne. We're going to go there. So much fun tonight. There's a concert, there's jazz. This guy's an ex-rugby player and a full-on rock star in the wine world. Here was Gerard Bertrand.
Nice to meet you.
I love your wines. I've been a fan of your wines since I discovered Languedoc-Roussillon, and you're such a part of the story. Tell me how a guy that was a rugby star, because your first love, your first passion was sport, and you were amazing at rugby, became a wine star.
You know, I grew up in a vineyard because my father was one of the pioneers, Georges Bertrand, in the south of France, who believed about the potential of the area. My father said to me when I was 10, now it's time to go to the cellar. And the first vinification I've done was in 1975.
But Languedoc-Roussillon is now the largest wine-producing region in France, and Australia and New Zealand combined, and it's the biggest biodynamic organic region on the planet.
Yes, you know, we are the leader of organic wines in France, organic and biodynamic wines, you know, and this is a top priority for us. And as we have wind, as we have a very good weather, you know, it's important for the region to converse more and more to the organic and biodynamic way, because at the end of the day, it's very important to respect the environment and to deliver a better planet for our children.
All right, Gerard, I've got a bottle in front of me, 2010 Hospitalitas. This is from the vineyard right behind us. Talk about this vineyard and this wine and this symbol on the bottle.
For me, this is the soul of the company, you know, because with a cross, you can see you have two birds you drink in a cup that symbolize the share, the communion, alpha and omega, the beginning and the end of the life. At the end, this is a cosmos. You know, you have the earth, and in the middle, you have the human and you have the vineyard, you know, and it's very symbolic, but you know, the wine, it's a lot of symbol, you know.
We're here, it's August, it's 2012. It's your 10th year to host a jazz festival. It's incredibly, how many people tonight are coming?
We host, for 4 days, we have 8,000 people.
Incredible. I mean, that's huge.
Yes, you know, for me, it's fantastic because we provide the lifestyle, art de vivre. And art de vivre, it's a link between the wine, the gastronomy, the culture, the painting and the music. You know, and tonight, everything is there and we are there to enjoy.
And we've got to get more people. Come down to Sud de France, come to Languedoc-Roussillon. It's remarkable. I mean, Americans always go to the most predictable places. Break the pattern, come down here, and congratulations on your success, brother.
Thank you.
Thank you. Well, that was cool. I always wanted to see how the heck sea salt was formed, and we got it. We got the perfect little 1 week, 2 week window in the middle of the summer. Perfect weather, traveled all around the Languedoc-Roussillon, Châteauneuf-du-Pape, a diversion, great food, great wines. Hope you had as much fun as we did. Mike Colameco's Real Food is brought to you by the continuous, generous support of the following underwriters.
Cola Vita, a true Italian.
From artichokes to roasted peppers, from balsamic to truffle oil, Roland brings the world to you. Roland, global experts in specialty food.
From Welshire Farms comes Lou's Garrett Valley Naturals, a collection of our most popular quality recipes made from minimal ingredients without added antibiotics, hormones, nitrates, nitrites, or artificial ingredients. Lou's Garrett Valley Naturals, always in good taste naturally.
Imported from Italy,
Anna pasta is the perfect combination of 100% durum wheat semolina and pure water, cooking al dente every time. For authentic Italian recipes, visit cento.com.
And by additional support from Rachel Ray's signature specialty food line. From her all-natural extra virgin olive oil and balsamic vinegars to her stock-in-a-box are designed for preparing quick and convenient meals at home in less time with delicious results. Mancini, the originator of America's fire-roasted pepper.